like you. No, that don't sound like you. I know it's been a while. I don't mean to pry, but when I asked you if you happy, I didn't hear a smile, and that don't sound like you. No, that ain't the girl I knew. You always sounded like truck tires on a gravel road, laughing at the world, blasting my radio, cannonballs splashing in the water, doing whatever, whenever you wanted. What did he do? 'Cause you don't sound like you anymore. Your pretty brown hair, you always loved it. Guess you didn't like it, so you just cut it, and that don't sound like you. No, that ain't the girl I knew. You always sounded like truck tires on a gravel road, laughing at the world, blasting my radio.
Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Rise High Radio, and you are here with your host, Chris Thomas, and we're going to have a nice show tonight. Unfortunately, the debate that I was trying to get happen, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen, it's not going to happen. However, we do have something along the same lines of that, if not greater. And it's a lady who's a business owner, because let me tell y'all what happened. I wind up talking to two different parties, one who was pro-COVID and one who was anti-COVID. And they both agreed to come on the platform and talk about the different sides on their belief or their stance with proof. And just one behind the other, they just kind of fell off or didn't want to do it for what one reason or another. I don't know, but so I do have a guest. I will be having a guest on here tonight, which is a business owner. And when I talked to her, she was like, "Hey, I want to do it. Like, I'm not afraid." So because there is a lot going on out here, and the whole purpose of this broadcast and this radio station is to get information out there. We don't hide anything. We don't push particular narratives. So things that you might hear or see on this radio station is not necessarily the views or opinions of the station itself. Now, we are licensed and we are registered. So there are some guidelines that we have to go by. But as far as censorship, we don't have that. We don't have to have that problem. We don't have those type of worries over here. So if y'all will give me a brief moment, then I will get this person out here. So I'm giving everybody the opportunity to tune in. Go ahead and share. If you know people that would be interested in watching this program tonight, this is going to be very interesting because we're going to get out there some of this information that I've been trying to get out here and what we've been trying to find out. So it's basically information, and we will get to it tonight. So I'm waiting on her. I don't know what happened, but I'm so glad that y'all are tuning in, and it's going to be live and lit tonight. I can guarantee you that. So just hang in there. Y'all give me a moment and we will be back shortly.
Grabbed her by the arm, said if you do what I tell you to, there won't be any harm. And Johnny said, take my money Take my wallet, take my credit cards. Here's a watch that my grandpa gave me. Here's a key to my car, mister, give it a whirl. But please don't take the girl. Same old boy, same sweet girl. 5 years down the road, there's gonna be a little one, and she says it's time to go. Doctor says the baby's fine, but you'll have to leave, 'cause his mama's fading fast, and Johnny hit his knees, and there he prayed, take the very breath you gave me, take the heart from my chest.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are back, and I have here a guest. She goes by the name of Sandra Young. And let me tell y'all, she has some information for us tonight. She is a business owner. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring her right on in right now. Hello, Sandra. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How is the weather out there where you are?
It's comfortable, actually.
That's good. Man, we had a cold front come through, and then it warmed up at like the end of the day. So, but other than that, it's okay. So
yeah, down here in Texas, it was cold one day last week, and then now it's hot, 90 degrees.
That sounds about right. Good. So now let's get right into this. Why we are here. Now, we did talk earlier, and I was saying previously, I wanted to actually get a debate here, and both parties kind of dropped out. Man, and it just kind of made me sad, because this is what my viewers were looking forward to. And I'm not sure what the reason.
I'm not scared to debate.
I'm not sure the reason why they dropped out, but they did. So, I mean, hey, but anyway, here we are. And if that wouldn't happen, then we wouldn't be here talking with you right now. So go ahead and tell the people a little bit about you, and you know, a little bit about your background, and you know, how we get to where we are now.
How do we get to where we are? Actually, I don't know where we are. If anybody knows, let me know. No, seriously, we opened a cocktail bar, me and my sister, 12 years ago. And I relocated in 2015. And then Trump won the election, 2016. Economy's going great. And then in March 19th, every red 51% gun sign was forced to close. Actually, I think everyone was forced to close back then. I think everyone had to close. We ended up closing for 10 weeks.
Okay.
We complied with the first shutdown. We woke up on June 26th to the news that we were closing. We had to close again in 3 hours.
Wow.
Well, I declined to close. I said, no way. I figured we'd have a week or two. TABC came in that very night.
So what happened after you declined to close that second time?
They handed me a 60-day suspension.
Wow.
And The suspension says that Boketer's Cocktail Bar is an imminent danger to the public. That's why I refused to sign it. He said he didn't need my signature on the first one, so I didn't figure they needed my signature on the second one either. But when I posted that YouTube video, it got a lot of hits or a lot of likes or whatever you call it, lots of views. A lot of people saw it.
So the first paperwork that you wasn't required to sign, the second one you say, so were you required to sign it and didn't know it? And what did it consist of?
Well, the first suspension I got was on June 28th. And it said that that Boketer's was an imminent danger to the public. And I said, this says I'm an imminent danger to the public. And he said, I don't write it. I'm just enforcing it. And I said, do you know the definition of imminent? Like if you walk in here, you're going to die. So I'm not signing that. And he said, I don't need your signature. And he left TABC, the lieutenant. And then,
so for our viewers, I didn't mean to cut you off. What is TABC? Because, sometimes we want to kind of clarify so people understand what it is and the terminology you're using and everything.
The Texas Alcoholic Beverage Commission.
Got you.
Yes. They're not really the bad guys in this whole thing, but they don't have to. Well, maybe they have to. But in my situation, on June 26th, they ordered everyone to close. So we complied with the 30-day suspension.
Okay, so about the second piece of paperwork.
The second time I decided to open August 3rd for 3 reasons. One is, first they said we had to close.
Okay.
Then TABC, when I say then TABC said, well, if you have a full kitchen, pay $776, you can reclassify as a restaurant and open. Then they said, if you have a patio, you can increase your occupancy, what's called a temporary modification of a licensed premises.
Okay, so when they told you to that you can open the kitchen, then maybe you can classify as a restaurant and reopen.
Yes.
Were you able to comply with that?
I do not have an indoor kitchen. I do, however, own a food truck parked outside. I bought it in 2016 for the bar because I can't have a kitchen inside. My septic is too small, according to my county. So TABC sent us an email that said, if you have a permanent food truck, you can reclassify as a restaurant, which is change your red 51% sign, just in case anybody don't know what that means. A red 51% sign means you sell alcohol, and a blue 51% sign means you sell food with alcohol. So my primary revenue is made from the sale of alcoholic beverages, not from food. So I'm a red 51% gun sign.
Okay, so not having a restaurant actually inside the establishment, but having a permanent fixture on the outside, such as a food truck, that would put you in compliance.
Yes, if I paid the $776 and reclassified.
Okay, now you did talk about the area in the patio.
Yes, that was it was called a TMLP, a temporary modification of a licensed premises, where it would increase your occupancy so you could have more people, but they had to sit outside. See, it's not about safety. It's not about safety.
Did you think that it was strange? Did you think that it was strange that like all these parameters were kind of changing all the time?
Every 2 weeks. Yes, that's the reason why when they sent me an email that said that we could have a toaster oven and a frozen pizza, I was like, no, this is not okay. This is flat out extortion. I'm not paying $776 to anyone for anything. My business is perfectly legitimate. I pay my sales tax. I'm a legal, licensed, permitted establishment, and I paid a lot of money for that permit. And then they said, So during my 60-day suspension, I was still able to purchase alcohol for 40 days. I was not suspended online because they were behind, is what they said.
Oh.
So my personal officer came in 3 Thursdays ago. Maybe it was 4 Thursdays, 2 weeks before the 14th. And he told me that they were really upset about the videos. And I explained to him that the videos were not to make them look bad by any means. It was to help other Red 51 percenters know what happens when TABC comes.
Right. So I was going to ask you that question. I didn't want to shut you off. But
at some point you got to say,
did you talk to other business owners, or was it happening to other business owners?
Everywhere. Matter of fact, I had an owners only meeting on August 1st, and I had about 30 bar owners, 30 bars show up. Everyone wanted to open. Everybody was scared. So that was Saturday, August 1st. On the 2nd, I was thinking about other places. I don't want to say names of other places because they have to survive just like we do, but I went other places that are respectively restaurants who had no food. It was all beer and shots. And there were 4 different places I attended, or I visited. 2 of them had people sitting at their bar, just like they would sit at my bar, but they had chips and salsa and a blue 51% sign. So my officer came and he said, pay the money, switch to blue. You have a food truck. I said, Officer Lennox, that goes against everything I'm fighting for, because I put a big sign. When I saw the couple from Friends Pub and Friendswood get arrested, they had a very large sign on their building that said, we refuse to shut down. Please support small business. I've had that sign made, and I have it on 2 different locations. When you pull in my parking lot, it says, we refuse to shut down. So what I did was, while we were suspended, we sold art and the alcohol was free. Because legally, according to my TABC handbook, I'm allowed to do that if I don't have a permit.
Right.
And when you're suspended, you're not permitted. You're not permitted to do anything. So I can legally give my alcohol away, and we sold art. But I have 9 pending transactions, or 9 open administrative cases for serving while suspended.
What do you mean open? How do you get 9 open cases?
They came in undercover. They came in undercover, which I didn't know till my officer came in, and he said, I said, I noticed y'all haven't been here at all, because I got suspended August 8th. And this was right after I did the Channel 11 news report. So that was on a Thursday. It was the following Thursday after I did Michael Berry. My officer came in, and he kind of wanted me to just be quiet and comply is the vibe that I got from him. So he talked about the lady in West Texas, and her name's Gabrielle Ellison. She owns Big Daddy Zane's, and she was the one who got arrested, and Shelley Luther bonded her out. So we have actually become friends throughout this nightmare.
Wow.
And he said, we don't like y'all posting videos. And that's the first thing when I said, well, we're not posting those videos for you. We're posting those videos so nobody else is afraid, because this is fear-based. Nobody will move. Nobody would make a move without permission. I was at a restaurant. This is sort of another epiphany I had. And my bartender, we were having breakfast, and she said, when are y'all going to put salt and pepper shakers back on the tables? And the waitress said, when we get permission. And I said, that really bothers me that I would hear you say that. Permission from who? Who do you need permission from to put your salt and pepper shakers on your tables? Right. What has happened to our country?
Okay, so let's fast forward a little bit. We're going to get back into this, the details of your experience. Let's just fast forward to now. After all this have taken place, what is your position now?
I believe wholeheartedly that opening August 3rd was absolutely the right thing to do for my staff, for our guests. My husband is a licensed plumber, so he was essential the whole time. So at home, we were okay. But my bartenders were starving. I mean, literally starving. So I took out 3 loans, gave them fat checks, paid half my bills. That's another thing is who's going to pay. We didn't get any special anything. We didn't get
Right.
PPP. We
Right.
did not get unemployment. We did not get
Or even if you
anything.
did got it, they had a process where you had to apply for it by you being a
Well, even
business.
when I applied for the PPP, my bank called me. So I was like, "Hey, sweet, I can get some help." And they sent me an email that said the funds have been exhausted. That's the only time I cried through this whole thing. And I looked up at my TV and it said that Shake Shack got 40 million. I was asking for $12,500 to give to my bartenders, not even for myself, to give to
Wow.
them. And it just sucked the wind right out of my lungs. I can't even explain when we closed down on the 26th, my inner core shook nonstop for weeks, like a constant panic attack. What are we going to do? How in the hell is it okay for us to go to bed with a job and wake up unemployed? When did that become okay? I truly believe this is an absolute political assassination without a rifle, without a bullet. We had the best economy we've ever
So
had.
what do you think is geared toward, and what do you think the motivation for this is?
Control, fear, and control. It's sort of the same thing that Hitler did to the Jewish people in the Holocaust. He told them he was going to help them if they just got on the train or if they just put on a mask. Just put on a mask. You'll be safe. And he put them on trains where they thought they were going to live a great life. Life was going to get better, and he gassed them. So I think I almost believe this is almost like a terrible social experiment. And I think a year from now or 2 years from now, we're going to see articles that say coronavirus, here's what really happened. Because even on the whole planet, 7 billion people, 1 million have died. Just 1 million. And I know that's a huge number, but there's 7 billion people. There's a 99.08% chance if you get corona, you're going to survive. You're going to live. So why all these fear mongering? And now it's not so much corona they're scared of. They're scared of the new justice that Trump wants to put in. And now they're scared of Hunter Biden's laptop. So it's just another distraction. These are just
look like it's a big old, like everybody's in this big old panic now. Like
it is.
They're just afraid of everything. People are so fearful. And I really wish I could have got those other 2 people on here, man. I'm talking about they had some great information. I'm talking about from each side.
You know, I truly believe that Proverbs says to fear man is a snare, but to trust in the Lord, you'll be safe. I'll be safe. When it's my time, it's my time. You know, I don't think it's going to be from a virus. I think I'm more likely to die of a heart attack than I am a virus. And if they started testing randoms for cancer, if they had a swab and they could test you, of course cancer rates would go up. I mean, nobody freaked out about the flu, and 80,000 people a year die from the flu. 60 million people got the the Ebola. 60 million people. They didn't AIDS. When I was a teenager, AIDS was a big thing, man. Everybody was scared of AIDS.
Yes.
And they passed out condoms. They didn't stop people from having sex or going to bars. You know what I mean? And millions of people died from AIDS, and they had big concerts. And I remember being a teenager and being afraid of AIDS. You know, you didn't know if you could get it from the air or touch someone. And we didn't know you can live for to be 50. You know, you can live to be 100. You can live 50 years with AIDS. Now they can make it to where it's untraceable. But to the pandemonium and the panic, if it was any other year, any other election, any other president, I don't even think I'd buy into it then. But I think this is absolutely an attempted political assassination. But I think it's really backfired on the Democrats because it's just evil. It's just evil what they're doing. I don't understand it. They hate our president more than they love our country.
Well, I could tell you from like your information, like you're very intellectual, and you do sound like what people say a conspiracy theorist. But
And you know
anyway, I
what?
want you to know this, Sandra. On this
Sure.
platform, we are licensed and registered. You don't have to worry about censorship or being censored. So if you sound like a conspiracy theorist, then that's what you sound like. And
Well, you know,
it doesn't
I've
matter
never been
who
a
we have.
conspiracy theorist.
It don't matter who we have on this platform. When you come on to speak, this is your chance to speak your mind, speak how you feel. So we do have moderators for like dissidents
Yeah.
or people who's, might have some not so good comments, and of course
Yeah.
everybody have their opinion, but we want you to be able to have your free course and, feel comfortable in doing that because
Yeah,
we are.
somebody told me a long time ago, don't ever read the comments.
Well, on this platform, we are not sworn to secrecy. We are sworn to
Well,
tell. So I want to put that out there. This is called
You know-
Rise High Radio.
Yes, I'm going to tell you this. I never have ever would have imagined that Corona would have affected me directly like it has. I don't know anyone that's been sick. None of my guests that I know of have been sick. But it's absolutely the most physically, emotionally, mental, financially, most devastating thing I've
So
ever
it
I've literally
affected
ever been through in
you.
my life.
It didn't affect you directly. It affected you indirectly.
It literally, when you can't think of anything else, like when you own a business, it's like your kid. You nurture it, you pay for it, you advertise, you keep it alive, you make sure you have product in stock. And for somebody to come in and say, get out, and then they force us out. And when we say, okay, where can we go? And they say, nowhere. Sorry about your bad luck.
Wow.
But then they'll say, well, if you have a patio, well, I'll tell you what, if you get a toaster oven from Walmart and you
So
cook
does
I'm
that
just-
sound like a false hope?
No, I think it was a money grab. I think it was I'm not sure why they wanted to switch the red 51%ers to blue. I'll never really get that other than taxes, because once you switch to blue 51%, you have to pay 8.25% sales tax on your food. So
Oh wow.
I'm not sure if I really don't understand the whole red, why it was just red 51%ers. It was only businesses that are red, and see places like Papados and Landry's
Okay,
and
so
Chili's.
can you explain to our viewers? You say 51% that were red. Explain what that is.
Yeah, I did. It's when you pull most of your more revenue from alcohol than food. Blue is a restaurant, like Chili's is a restaurant, but they have alcohol.
Right. I mean, I know what it
Right.
means. I just wanted you to explain that to our listeners so they would fully understand what you're saying when you say it. So
when why they wanted everyone to switch, I'll never really understand it. I just flat refused. So when my officer came in and just told me to comply, I said no. And that's when he told me that I had 9 open administrative cases. And I told him if they revoke my license, I will open as a BYOB. I will charge a small cover to keep my bills paid, and I will reapply for a new license, and I'll get it. So,
well, Sandra, I really do appreciate you. I thank you for giving us
anytime.
a little bit of your time and sharing your in-depth knowledge and personal experience from how coronavirus actually affected you and your business and probably everything around you. So
we're gonna be okay. Everyone's gonna be okay.
Did you have any shout outs you wanted to give to anybody or anything
All the
like
red
that?
51 percenters that hung in there. Rail Club, Big Daddy Zane's, whole bunch. Six Springs Tavern in Richardson. Oh my God, there's so many. Deer Lease and Mingus, Outlaws in Longview, Shooters in Pasadena. There's so many. I've met so many friends over this. Our industry is still quite divided, but I've met a lot of friends through this process. And yeah, there's so many. Go Red 51 percenters.
Well, thank y'all for listening and tuning in. This was Sandra Lee Young, a business owner, a prominent business owner that coronavirus had affected. So we really thank you and appreciate you for coming on. Y'all can go and rewatch this on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and as well as risehighradio.com. So thank y'all for listening. Y'all get a chance to share, and y'all can still comment as well. But our moderators are active, just so you know.
I'm sure they'll have a lot of nice things to say about me.
Yeah, you probably won't get a chance to see a bunch of them. So,
Yo, it's okay. I'm used to it.
yeah. Well, thank
you
y'all.
so
Thank
much
y'all
for
for
having
listening. Tune in to Rise High Radio. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.